Thank you very much for joining us for another exciting edition of the Lunchtime Cafe. My name is Marco Kwakwas. Now, this is a program that comes to you Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at exactly 12 hours. And then we start with the lunch break news, and then we get into the other segments of this particular program. Now, one of those segments is the Forgotten Stories segment, where we just give you some stories that used to happen way back, just to refresh your memories on what used to happen in this beautiful country. And those stories happened on this very day in 2021 or in 2020. So those are the stories that we are going to be showing you, just to remind you of what used to happen in those particular days. Later on in the program, we are going to be getting into another segment we call the Amazing Stories segment, where we're going to be showing you stories that our reporters are working on. These are the stories that we expect to see during the evening news at 19:30. So stay tuned just to get a snippet of what you expect in our main news this particular evening. And later on, we are going to be getting into the interview segment, where we'll be discussing various issues that are happening across the country. So you have to stay tuned and make sure that you watch us. And if you want to contribute on this particular program, you can go to our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV, and then go to this particular broadcast, leave your comments there. We'll be more than happy to see what you think about what we are discussing this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Remember, this evening, the Copper Queens will be taking on Angola in Ndola at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium, and we are going to also be talking about that particular game a little bit later on the program. The kickoff is at 18 hours. Details will come to you a little bit later. But let's start, as usual, with the Forgotten Stories segment, where we show you some stories that used to happen some years back. We selected a few of them. Let's have a look at them.
The past 2 weeks, the Zambian populace has been marked by debate of how the first 100 days of the United Party for National Development Administration has been with regards to driving the wheels of this economy. Mixed views have been expressed from those in the political field, civil society, and generally members of the public. While some acknowledge that 100 days is not enough to judge a governing party, others say it serves as a yardstick to show how the nation will be governed. Among those offering their preliminary analysis is the Opposition People's Alliance for Change President Antford Banda, who says the tone set by the UPND is not inspiring.
What we need to remember is that the UPND came into government with a lot of expectations. And these expectations were not created by the people. These expectations were created by themselves, the UPND. Because they painted a picture that, they knew what they were doing, and hence most of their promises were based on actual figures and actual promises. For us as PAC, we've been observing on the sidelines in the last over 3 months of the UPND government. I must state that we are not very impressed with how things are moving. We believe that there's a lack of shake-up in the country, especially after a complete change of government.
Mr. Banda says by now the tone of how they will actualize their promises should have been set.
We had expected was that in the last 90 days, the UPND could have actually given us a proper direction on when a lot of their promises were going to happen. There are a lot of promises to do with job creation, empowerment of small businesses. Of course, we have seen some promissory notes in the budget, which we have said, that, of course, the budget is very ambitious. But on top of that, looking at how things have gone in the last 3 months, it gives us a lot of concern if those ambitions that were put in the budget will really be implemented.
Meanwhile, GEAR's Initiative Executive Director McDonald Chipenzi also added his voice, expressing that more can still be done to erase the doubt in people.
It's been very difficult because is it from August to December? They are still using the budget left by the previous government. So you can't expect employment in this case. You can't expect any changes. You can't expect any reductions because it will affect the budget that is existing. So it will mean that either you start borrowing and start bringing other, eating in the new budget in order to meet certain things. So on that score, I think we cannot judge them until we see themselves managing their own budget. But in terms of decentralization, again, we have seen movement there, which was stagnant for a long time.
On the other hand, the National Democratic Congress Party, a UPND alliance partner, says the NDC is happy with the performance of the UPND in the last 100 days.
NDC is still part and parcel of the UPND alliance, meaning we are behind our president, President Hakainde Hichilema, who I believe in the last 100 days he has shown that is equal to the task. Of course, many people are beginning criticizing here and there, but I feel it's too premature.
Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka. With 12th December set as the deadline for voter registration exercise, the centers are still characterized by long queues of people trying to get captured by the officers. Counting down to that, only 7 days are remaining, and with little hope of extending the period, stakeholders are calling on the extension based on the statistics released by the Electoral Commission of Zambia that only slightly over 4 million people have been captured in 3 weeks. The accuracy of the voter register is said to be a key element in ensuring that all qualified constituents can enjoy their right to vote. While the process is said to be slow, people seem to be eager to acquire this important document. Advocates for National Development and Democracy, Executive Director Samuel Banda, has asked the Commission to extend the voter registration period.
I'd like to urge the Electoral Commission of Zambia to consider extending the voters' registration period. First of all, we are happy that despite the challenges that they've been facing, they have managed to register almost half of the target number, which is 9 million. However, we are concerned with the last phase, which is remain about 7 days. I don't think it will be possible to achieve the 9 million target. Hence, we are urging them to consider extend the registration period so that all the eligible voters can have the opportunity to register and get the voters card so that they participate in the governance of our country next year in 2021 and vote for the candidate they are preferring candidate. If we are able to achieve about 4.3 million under 3 phases, which is about 21 days, for them to reach the other remaining target, which is about 5.something million. It is important that it extend to about 3 weeks, which is another 21 days.
And Monali, aspiring member of parliament, took time to talk to the people on the queue and encouraging them to take advantage of this remaining period to register and take part in next year's election.
Voters card, not KRS solar food. Already tina makese tukaunda square kuja wanasowe sama voters card. Then wazaka vote bani. Wao ambako tumira ine ba MP inaweza shita bani. So teni not tingareko che KRS na voters card tikatenga tikasunga bwino so that next year tikavote.
The voter registration exercise commenced on the 9th of November 2020 and is expected to automatically close on the 12th of December 2020. In this period, the Commission hopes to have achieved the targeted number of 9 million approximated eligible voters. Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Thank you very much. So those are some of the stories that we picked for you, just to remind you of where we are coming from. That's the segment that we call the Forgotten Stories segment, just to show you some of the things that used to happen in the years that have gone, just to refresh your memories. Now, moving on, let's get into a segment that we call the Emerging Stories segment. Now, in this particular segment, President Hakainde Hichilema is today, the 5th of December 2023, expected to travel to the Copper Belt to visit the mine accident scene where miners are trapped underground in Chingola. Now, rescue efforts have been ongoing, but no results have come forth so far. The president is expected to go and appreciate the rescue efforts and have a first-hand information on the accidents. Information and Media Minister Cornelius Mwetwa told the press that the president will be visiting the Copper Belt today.
I wish to take this opportunity to inform the nation that the President of the Republic of Zambia, President Hakainde Hichilema, tomorrow, 5th December 2023, Tuesday, will be traveling to the Copper Belt, particularly Chingola, to go and visit the mine accident scene for him to have first-hand appreciation of what is going on and the efforts that government is putting in place to try and rescue those that remain trapped.
Now, Chief Tafuna of the Lungu-speaking people of Mpulungu district in the northern province and has thanked government for giving back the traditional land that was illegally grabbed from them under the Patriotic Front regime. Now, Chief Tafuna says the traditional land in question housed most of the shrines and the venue for their traditional ceremony. He says the traditional and cultural heritage and ancestral land was almost sold off. He says he was happy that under the New Dawn government, the land has been reconverted back to his chiefdom, and His Royal Highness Senior Chief Tafuna, who is the custodian of the chiefdom land and the clan. He said this through his spokesperson, Wells Namute Chifunda.
Thank His Excellency the President for ensuring that our land that was gotten from us, from our chiefdom, by unscrupulous people during the PF government, has finally been restored back to us, and we are so grateful to the President, and that in itself shows commitment by the President to ensuring that our traditional leaders are respected and honored with the respect that they actually deserve. And therefore, I would love to categorically state here that we are so delighted as Lungu people to actually have our land back into our hands, and we are looking forward to actually having our traditional ceremonies freely without any disturbances.
And finally, let's look at the Copper Queens story, which says the Copper Queens will this evening take to the pitch as they face Angola in the second leg of the WAFCON qualifier at Levi Monawasa Stadium in Ndola. Now, FAS Vice President Justin Mumba addressed the Copper Queens after Monday evening's training session at Levi Monawasa Stadium, where he urged the team to end the Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON qualifiers on a high note. Zambia takes on Angola in the final round of second leg qualifier at 18 hours. Now, the Copper Queens lead 6-0 from the first leg.
The message that I have is just to encourage you during tomorrow's game that you complete the job so that you earn your qualifications. Your DL has shared with me the challenges that the teams have that we are trying to solve behind the scenes. That aside, I was talking to first assistant coach in a technical committee meeting that in Ndola we've made it a slaughterhouse. I believe that with the performance we saw in Angola, you are here to complete the job at a very high note. You scored 6 goals, I believe you score even more goals there. The best we can do is to enjoy our game and complete the rest that we need to complete. We'll do our best within our means to keep to support this particular team just the way we support the men's team. It is important that we end with the qualifications. The boys have qualified. You qualify, it will be good for us and indeed for every player and the CV of every coach that is present here. All in all, we can only wish you the very best, and we'll be here to give you support.
Thank you very much. So those are some of the stories that you expect to see in our evening news at 19:30 as we bring to you the menus. Those are some of the stories that we do expect to see during that particular bulletin. So that was the Amazing Stories segment, where we give you stories that are happening right now as our reporters are working on them. And we do expect also to see these particular stories during our menus at 19:30 right here. So we are still on the Lunchtime Cafe, and now we get into the interview segment where we are going to be talking to Mr. Brian Bwalia, who is a politician, to discuss issues that are happening, especially surrounding governance. Mr. Bwalia, thank you very much for making it to the Lunch Cafe. Welcome to the interview.
Oh, thank you so much. And how are you?
Let's start on a sad note. Recently, we did see the accident that happened at Seseli open pit mine in Chingola. A number of people are still trapped, and rescue efforts are being made to try and retrieve people that are trapped there. What do you make of this?
I think it's the sad moment for Zambia, and a sad moment for our country. And we wish our condolences to the families and the concerned families. We hope and pray for the best that the people involved. I think they will try to do all they can, but it's our condolences to the family.
So that is as a result of illegal mining, the accident. And how does it speak to the issue of illegal mining in Zambia?
The challenge that we have, people, especially those people who are involved are the youths. They are looking for life. I think, we have got the challenge of employment in the country. So I think it's a call to the New Dawn government to first find an alternative of not having employment, because people have to survive, people have to eat. So I think it's a call to the government to find an alternative to job creation.
What can you do to try and improve the safety in mining?
I think maybe we can say I think there's so much illegalities in the country, and I think the cautions were taken. The people involved, they were supported to make sure that those small scale mines, their safety is guaranteed. But the challenge, I think that they didn't do what was supposed to be done, and I think it's also important that we should, follow the procedure whenever we're doing anything in the country. And if we are not going to do what we're supposed to do, these are the results. At the same time, I think I saw upon the minister in charge of mines. I think even if they give maybe license, they make sure that the people involved in mine activities, they have got they need to grant them safety and I think close supervision. I think we can say they were left to do on themselves without taking those safety measures. I think part of it we can say I think it's like supervision and close monitoring, and that's what the challenge that we have in the country.
Moving on, let's talk politics now. The opposition political parties are planning to have a mass rally on the Copper Belt in Kitwe, to be specific. And among other things, they want to talk about issues of the high cost of living. They also want to talk about political persecution and various other issues. What do you make of this particular rally?
If you say political persecution, I think we haven't been living in reality. The political persecution, I think it happened in the previous regime, where maybe we talk about President Church was taught to get a permit to enter in certain areas. And I think my personal view, I think President HH, I think should be, he should find the way of healing this nation, because he's the one on the driving seat of this nation, and the fall of this nation depend on the president. What I mean is, I think in Zambia, it's not about the political persecution. It's not about who persecutes you. What's important is we have to realize that this nation, we need to be healed from that bitterness, from those revenge, from those so-called persecution. When you break the law is law. When you are told you are doing the wrong thing, I think I need to be answerable. And we should not take time to. I think we should able to take time to appreciate this government, because I think people are free to, even that demonstration they want to have. If it was in the previous regime, they would have not have. Even the voices today, people are talking about persecution. In the previous regime, that thing wasn't. The people were supposed to get the payment was support from the cadres, not the police, from the police service. So we have got a long politics in the country, and which we need, I think, much education. When we talk about the issue of hunger, the previous regime, they told us that there is war in Russia and Ukraine. Up to today, that war is still on. How do we expect the issue of the fuel? Because what drives the economy of the nation is fuel. So Zambia, we don't have the wells where we get fuel. We import fuel. So if you are talking about the high price of thing in the country, then one of them reality. At the same time, this problem that President HH has inherited is from provincialism, because governance is a continuity. You find the people working in the previous regime are still working. So I wonder how can we blame this government of high cost of living. The fuel is coming, we're importing fuel almost every day. And I think the opposition, there should be an alternative to this government. Because if HHF fails, automatically even the opposition have failed, because they are the government are in waiting. So they should come with politics where they're able to advise. It's not the demonstration that is going to reduce the price of minimum. It's not the character assassination that is going to bring the price of minimum down. They need to bring those things on the table. I think the president, he'll be very happy. I know, admire the late President Mwanawasa, that was able to mingle with later President Michael Sata. They were able to sit down. Issue of governance, we have to sit down and say, okay, our brother, this is the way we should go about this. Issue of fuel, this is the way we should go about it. And you know, we in Zambia, let me go back to the same I made. What we need right now is healing. Zambian economy is on a pause because people have got hatred. Look how President, I'm not a party spokesperson or the government spokesperson, but this thing was well known. It was called, it was a satanist. It was called all kind of things. Whereby when they were even going to Northern Province, he was told to go and get the permit. So the opposition, they can go ahead and have that meeting, but what will be the benefit? If we are going to have people of this nation, the opposition, they should be able to come or go on the table for President HH and say, our brother, this is the way we think we should go about this issue. If we are going to demonstrate, then how is it going to help the economy of this nation?
The bitterness you're talking about and hatred, where is it coming from? And if you say there's bitterness and hatred, does it also involve the current leadership?
I don't think so, because we must accept that President of the Church is the President of this republic, whether we want it or not. You go to any shop, you find the head of President HH in the office. If we are going to accept this is the president and we can have one president at a time, it's not everyone who's going to be Jim and Jack and say, no, I'm a president. By the Constitution. And people voted womanly for President HH. So what needs to be done is let us accept. There's bitterness because it's not everyone was happy to see President HH be in power. There are so many, there was so much, bitterness. There's so much, hatred from the oppositions. Mm-hmm. Because I've never heard where the opposition will say or even write, we arrive at State House, we are meeting His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia. I've never heard, maybe you are the journalist, apart from President of MMD and Ebasmong. But Ho have been saying all kinds of things against this man. And he suffered, President HH, he suffered that, rejection. People spoke bad about him. But he's a man who has embraced everybody. And the door is open. Why can't, if you have got a solution to the high cost of living in Zambia, why don't you go and knock at the door? Who is hiding or who is forbidding these people to go and ditch? That demonstration that they're going to have maybe in Copperbelt. How is it going to help a solution? Because it should just be a demonstration. At the end of the day, there will be no results. So if I go or I come to you and say, okay, I've got a solution to this problem this country is facing, automatically I'll be not helping myself, I'll be helping the country. At the same time, I'll be building confidence that the people will say, okay, this is the brother, we helped or we brought up a solution to the issue of fuel, to the issue of the high cost of living. But the problem, that hatred is coming from few selfish politicians who think that it's only them who can do better. It's only them who can do this nation. Mm-hmm. Zambia is just too big. And my honest appeal to President HH and the entire leadership of the UPND, I think it's high time we accept ourselves that we're in leadership. It's high time we accept that we are on the driving seat. It's high time we accept these few brothers and sisters who want to portray that they are the only one who can heal this economy. And President HH, I think, is also high time the entire leadership of UPND to forgive. Let's have a big heart to forgive those people who are speaking evil against this leadership. Because if we are going to stand and respond to every statement that comes from the opposition, then we're going to lose focus as a country. And there must be healing. The politicians should be able to preach forgiveness. When we forgive, President HS, the way he managed to control the issue of cadreism, he can also be on the top to tell the politician, to tell everybody, to encourage the people to get healed. There was so much police brutality in the previous regime. There was so much, many evil things that the previous regime did. Mm-hmm. But if we are going to take a law of saying we want to respond or want to show them that yes, we are ahead. Yes, it was bad. Imagine the experience the president had to go through when at Camnet House, where the police had to go and they did a lot of things. But if a man was Peter, tell me, if those are brothers and sisters are claiming that there is a political persecution, can I even have time even to go to the police station and get the permit to go and demonstrate? Today there is so much freedom upon the media. People are able to talk. They are free to talk. Because if I was an opposition member speaking on Camnet, definitely I'll find if I just speak anything against any leader, I'll find the cadres waiting for me with pangas. There are so many instances that happened at President HH while he was having the live interview. He was forced to use the roof as escape. So what type of persecution people are talking about? There was I saw even somebody in the Camnet today was speaking on that morning interview. I think let's embrace healing. Let's embrace and preach healing. Let's embrace forgiveness as a country. If we're not going to forgive each other as politicians, we are going to divide this nation. If we're not going to embrace the President HH as the President of Zambia, the stone that was once rejected has become now the cornerstone of Zambia. So all I'm saying, let's have a clean politics. I think President HH is trying to bring clean politics. The politics where you can talk and no one will follow you in your house. The politics of development. Let's hear opposition political party where they can have talking about the business forums. There's so much unemployment in the country, but because there's so much people who don't know what they want to do in politics, they think like name calling to them is politics. I think those politics I think were graduated as a nation when the politics of development. We want to hear what can I do in Malodi constituency? What can I do in Tundumwezi? There are so many people who are orphans who need sponsorship. Instead of you sponsoring those demonstrations, can you find a way of sponsoring our brothers and sisters who need food? Can you find a way of helping our brothers and sisters? Let me say those children whom they call who are found in the streets. They're sleeping. There's so many things that the opposition can do. Government is not forbidding them to do or to deliver the service. If I know that harm the person or maybe aspiring to stand as maybe an MP, I have to look for an alternative for the people in my local constituency. I have to start doing little things. So instead of them wasting that money on transport, doing whatever they want, there's so much, even that family which is, the family, those youths, let them create employment. Let them find a solution to the, create small employment. Open come up with the empowerment for our youth. Then people winning confidence say, really you are a leader. Not these leaders who are hearing the demonstration here, the character assassination. I think that politics is a backward politics.
We now take a short break, and when we come back, we are going to continue with this particular interview where we are featuring Mr. Brian Wadia and just discussing various issues that are happening in the country currently.
What if I never knew? What if I never found you? I never have this feeling in my heart.
Are you planning to marry or get married? Contact the Camnet Media team for a professional capturing of your big day in life. Let your relatives, friends, and the nation join you in celebrating your big day on television. Just at a manageable fee, Camnet Television will cover and transmit your wedding on your channel of choice. Contact the marketing department on mobile number. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
I give my love to heaven home.
Thank you very much. You are still watching the Lunch Cafe on Camnet's TV, and we are having our interview segment, and we are talking to Mr. Brian Wadia, who is discussing with us a lot of issues that are happening in the country. Now, Mr. Wadia, going back to it, let's talk about corruption. How would you rate the fight against corruption under the UPND government?
I think UPND is doing well in terms of fighting corruption. We are seeing a lot of cases being taken to the relevant authority. We are seeing cases, and even the members of let me say those who are serving under current regime, they have been questioned. There's so much transparency. What UPND, I think, has done, which they need, I think, to be appreciated, is it has given authority and power to institutions like drug enforcement, giving authority to police service, and you realize that I think if they interview, for example, in a contract or in a government tender, the personnel, or let me say the drug enforcement, have to be there. I think there's so much transparency, and I think there's we're using. Let me say they're using their power and their mandate that brought the rule of law, and people are afraid to do any kind of corruption, because in those days we saw that money. Imagine the money was almost everywhere. There was so much tantameni. That was corruption. But today you are even afraid to corrupt a police officer. You are even afraid to corrupt anybody, because corruption, fighting corruption, had to start with us. It has not to start with the President HH or the drug enforcement. Fighting corruption starts with you and me. Okay, are we going to have a mind where, if I'm caught by the police officer, am I going to say, questions, okay, go and pay the penalty? And what they've done now is you don't have to pay right there and then. You have to go and pay at the bank. And I think it's reducing the high risk of that corruption, because if you have got a case and the case is captured, automatically you have to go and pay that fee. I think it's a thing that I think need to be appreciated. At the same time, I think there's close monitoring, and people, okay, let me just be very frank, people are afraid because they don't know that if I come to you and say, okay, can you do this case for me, then I will see, can do this for you. People are afraid because they are conscious that the police officers, the drug enforcement, they're almost everywhere. So you are conscious of doing anything. So fighting corruption is not just about the government, it's also about the citizen. I think the government also should do more on let me say, the Drug Enforcement and Corruption Commission should more of education, should do more education in schools, in churches, and even telling people the side effect of corruption. And I think government also should spend more money on that, and I think we're going to see that corruption. I think the issue of corruption will reduce. But if we're going to just leave the drug enforcement to them to do that thing, or and corruption commission, then that effort, I think, they failed. But what needs to be done is all of us to get involved at the church level, at the family level. Are we involved in fighting against corruption?
Some people are complaining to say the president is making too many foreign trips. What do you make of those complaints?
But how do you expect him to...
there have been suggestions that he should have cut short his trip to the COP28 meeting where we had an accident here at the mines. He should have come back to come and attend to this particular accident.
But that's why there's a vice president. The law of the vice president is the same as the president. If the president delegates somebody, the president is even there. There are some speeches where, let me say, maybe the director of Camnet delegates you and say, okay, Mr. Nkosi, you are going to represent us as Camnet. If it's the latest speech, what speech are you reading? It's not the speech for the owner of the cabinet. So, government do not learn or do not depend on the president. This government want to work with everyone, and that's why Vice President, Madam Nalbango, is there. She's still here. She's the acting president. So when she goes there, the president goes there. If they delegate the Minister of Mr. Galinko to go and represent the president, the president was gone there. So I think it's also depend on because there's some certain engagement. For example, the president's there to serve the nation, is there to make sure that we cut off even the issue of that issue of unemployment. If we can have more investors in a country, automatically issue of there'll be job creation, and those our youths will not be there like that. So it's a matter of in Zambia. I think we have seen a situation where we want to politicize anything. As long as it's President HH, because we don't like HH, anything that he does or anything that he do is become a crime, and that's that's the spirit that we need that need to be killed. And my I also appeal to as I related to make an appeal to the church mother bodies. Let's preach forgiveness in this country. Let's preach forgiveness. Let's preach forgiveness so that people will not have so much bitterness against President HH. President HH suffered, let me say, if he was somebody like Abena Saddam Hussein, if he was like Abena Idi Amin, President HH has suffered. In opposition, people talked evil of him. In ruling, people are still talking evil of him. The church mother body let them sit the opposition, sit the ruling party down, and let's embrace forgiveness. Let's embrace healing, because we cannot go on like this. the man who won the election and will continue speaking evil against him. And you know, my next appeal to President HH and the entire UPND membership, forgiveness is what will bring the healing to this economy of this great nation. As long as people are bitter, the Bible says, where is peace, God command what? A blessing. As long as opposition keep, speaking evil against him, even the peace, that's the peace that we deserve, may be taken away. So it's a responsibility of every politician. It's a responsibility of every Zambian citizen. It's a responsibility of you and me, also let me say the journalist. When they insult the president, the journalists, why do they air even the issue of tribal remarks against him? There are some people who came or went to the fora and said, Umutonga will not rule the country. There's so much hatred. So all I'm saying is, our leaders in the government, let's embrace forgiveness. Opposition, let's embrace forgiveness. I want to see a situation whereby President Membe will go at the State House and say, my brother, I think the way you're going about this issue, and this is the way you should go about it. The one time the president of the Green Parties, Peter Sikamba, he used to have to go to State House and advise. That's the kind of politics I want to see. Not where you will every day. It's like people, they just have of hatred against this man. So, all in all, let the president work. Let the president do his work. And if there are some issues where you feel you need to advise, you don't have to go on the social media to advise. If you really love, for example, if you see me, I'm doing something wrong, come on my house, come on my office, knock on the door. Yes, bro, the thing that you're doing is wrong. I think you should refrain from this. But we don't have that politics where we want to feel that when the camera is on me, I should insult such a person. I should call that person that name. I think that politics, as I said, or alluded to, is a politics of the aged, is a politics of the aged people. Look at Zambia, Zambia the one time that this nation, our mothers, our uncles were sold as slaves to the colonial masters. They were sold as slaves to Britain, to America. But America has come. Britain has come. The way we have forgiven Britain, why can't we forgive ourselves? Why can't we forgive whatever maybe President HH has wronged you? Maybe it's because I don't know. No one chooses. No one can choose to be born in Southern Province. No one can choose to born in Western Province. It's by God's nature. You've just found you are a Bemba, you just found you are Lozi, you just found you are Tonga. I mean the people who fought for the independence of this great nation, they were united. They were united people. If the greatest battle, we are not fighting battle against HH. The greatest battle that you want to come and lose is a battle against this economy. It's a battle against climate change. It's a battle against the vices which has come with the climate change. No one chose it. You talk about climate change. I don't think President HH has got power to go and control climate change. Climate change has come. Now it's a duty for us to put our head together. The way our forefathers fought for the independence is the way we should also fight also for economical independence. We celebrate independence. We are free. One Zambia, one nation. The way we fought to see, us having freedom, then to look at the tribe. They looked at what they wanted to get at the end of the day. The opposition, they should look, what do they want to achieve? It's not an issue that we should organize ourselves only to go and remove HH from governance. If we're going to have people who have got that in mind, I think the country will be in the same circles, will be recycling in the same lane. There will be no development in the country.
As we come to the end of this interview, do you feel that the church is playing its role in trying to bring sanity in the political arena?
I think the church haven't prayed the law. They were supposed to pray. Because how can somebody rise up and speak against the head of state and the church is quiet? There's so much that this government is doing. Like you talk about CDF, there are some areas where CDF, there are some of the brothers who never visited. There are 15 years when they introduced free education. Everyone was eager. Everyone jumped and said, "Okay, I want to go back to school." The church has not, has not helped our politicians, has not helped them to start doing clean politics. We want clean politics, politics of respect, politics of no tribal remarks, and that's the kind of politics that we want to see. The church mother bodies have, I think, they've become so much, neutral, or they're becoming, they become spectators. They're not doing their law. Imagine if the church mother body will come on the board and condemn the tribal remarks, condemn the character assassination. What has a church done to the people that live in the church mother body, those people that are speaking evil against the President HH, and people are quiet? I know President HH has not done, it's not the perfect thing that maybe it might be here and there, but we have just amplified on those small mistakes that maybe this government is doing. What about the CDF? What about the free education? What about the peace we're enjoying? What about, no one is talking about this price, national service bringing food, bringing the price of minimum down. No one is talking about it. And this appeal, let me make an appeal to the media houses. I think you need to assess, will this message I'm taking to the media help to build the economy of this country? Will this message I'm spreading to the people, broadcasting on the media, is it going to bring healing on the people of this great nation? But the church mother body, the media institution in the country, have not been helpful to issue of tribal, issue of let me say character assassination type of politics. The media houses, I think, have been in forefront in spraying falsehood. Why no media institution has not talked about the benefit of the free education? I've never seen any media house apart from CNBC. It's about now we talk, if my father is naked, it's a duty for me as a child of my father to cover the nakedness. State House is open. If you have got an issue, President Membe, President Kalaba, if you have got an issue, you have got a solution. The reason why opposition are not going to State House is because they've got nothing to offer. The reason why they're not going to State House to give the solution, they've got no solution. The only solution they have is to campaign and demonstrate. That's the only thing that they have. And after demonstration, there will be nothing. If they've got something to offer, State House is very open. President HH is welcoming everyone to give solution, because the economy of this nation is depending on all of us. It's depending on you, depending on the viewers out there. So if we are going to bring our head together, then we're going to find a solution. The reason why that demonstration will be there is because people have got nothing to offer. They have got nothing to offer. All they want to offer is to make noise. If you have got something to offer, they can go and sit with their brother and say, my brother, here we go on, I will go and do this thing. Here, my brother, let's do this. Here, my brother, we do that.
Mr. Wari, I'd like to thank you very much for making an appearance on the Camnet Lunch Cafe.
Thank you so much.
This has been the Lunch Cafe on Camnet TV. Don't forget to join us again tomorrow at the same time when we bring to you another exciting program. On behalf of the entire production team, have a lovely afternoon.